9,000 watts, two 12s, and a wireless microphone? You know I had to get one of these.
One eternity later.
It seems Compton, California is the place where a lot of these white band style speakers are located, so I had to wait about a week to get mine in, and here it is. 12-inch, 2-power LED speaker, model DY213, true wireless stereo, 9,000 watts PMPO, plus all the features you can imagine.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
Let's get this amazing speaker out of the box. As I've shown before, open it from the bottom is the best way to get a heavy speaker out. But spoiler alert, this thing is not very heavy. We'll get into the weight later in the video, but let's pull it out and take a closer look. First up is the owner's manual. It's 4 pages of pretty much useless information. All it does is point out the text that is on the top of the unit and then tell you a little bit about how to set the presets. Also comes with a USB-C to USB-A adapter. We'll show what that's for here soon. Also, it comes with an 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter cable for your aux input. And it comes with a wireless remote control, which is something I asked for in other units, so it's nice to actually have this. And it requires 2 AAA batteries, which of course, batteries not included. Then we have a wireless microphone. That's right, you can sing karaoke all you want to with the mic. And of course, this also requires batteries 2 AA's, which again are not included, so be prepared to provide your own. Quality of the microphone is suspect, but we kind of expected that as well because the rest of it is suspect also. Let's get more into the features and specs of this unit. First off, for the dimensions, 38.5 inches tall by 14.5 inches wide. It is kind of a cylinder shape. Also, it uses 2 12-inch woofers. Do it bump dough? We will find out. I was very curious to know if both of them were active or if one of them is passive. Stay tuned and we will find out together. Also, there are bass ports for enhancing the bump. But if you look really close, only one of them is a port. The other one is a fake port. So we'll get to that again once we open it up. Tweeters are at the top for the highs. It has openings for 2 tweeters. But once again, only the one on the right is active. The one on the left is a blank. So yes, this speaker is shooting blanks. Across the top is the display, which shows the input, volume, and some other things, including Bluetooth, etc. Let's pull off the plastic and take a closer look. So here's the display screen, which shows right now we're in Bluetooth. We'll change the mode. So we go from line.
Sure, about which FDA-approved uses of the Ozempic?
To radio, to Bluetooth. Now, when you plug in either USB or micro SD, it immediately goes to those two, so you don't have to worry about actually setting those in your inputs. And a closer look here at the top of the unit, this is where the controls are for the volume, microphone, and more. So really the first thing you notice about this speaker, other than it being big, is that it's not very heavy. In fact, it's probably no heavier than the models with the 5 1/4s. And it says it has 12-inch drivers. We'll have to pull it apart later and see if it really does. But here's a little display across the front, which shows you the mode that you're on. And all the settings and all the features and everything are here on the top. Some of these are very hard to see for us old people. Has bass and treble adjustments, echo and delay for the microphone. This is the microphone volume here. This is the overall volume. Power off and on. Auxiliary input. We have USB-A, also we have micro SD or trans flash. Again, these are all the different options for changing stations and sources and all that. Your charge is via USB-C. It doesn't come with a plug-in adapter, it just comes with a cable that goes from USB-C to USB-A. And there's a microphone jack. Of course, it comes with a microphone that is wireless. Here's the wireless microphone. It does have 2 AA batteries, which were not included. Let's go ahead and turn the unit on. It's very loud there for the Bluetooth. I'm gonna set it to the line level mode so we won't hear anything else. And then I will turn on the unit here just by pressing the yellow button and holding it in. There we go. And I assume when it's solid, that means it's connected. So let me try to talk into it. There, can you hear me? Now I have the echo and delay set. Let me turn those down. Okay, now no echo, no delay, so you can hear me. It does try to cut out my audio quite a bit as I'm talking, I noticed on top of the unit there's a voice cut option, but I turned it off and it still didn't really make a difference. It still cut it out.
Not sure what's up with that, but you can adjust the echo and the delay to your liking. It does seem to get loud enough, and it works. I mean, for $100, a little bit over $100 speaker with a wireless mic, that's pretty impressive, to be honest. Another thing that's cool is some of these units actually come with 2 wireless microphones, and check this out. It even has a place where you just stand the wireless mic.
Spoken!
Yeah, and it even has a slot back here that you can use to put your cell phone or tablet or whatever back here. That's kind of neat. And based on the output of this device, you won't have to worry about it rattling. So the source button up here also serves as LED on or LED off. You have to hold the button in. And I'll show you the LEDs here. This is LED on, obviously LED off. There is no different modes that I see here that you can go through. I think it's only either off or on. If I'm wrong about that, I will update. Now I'm going to insert a flash drive that has some MP3s on it. See, it goes immediately to USB, and it should start up. Tells you what track number you're on there. Let's go back to track 1. You can pause, you can skip forward and skip back. Yeah. So this one also includes a wireless remote control, which is very useful. Volume has the play and pause. You can also mute, which is interesting. We'll have to look and see what the record does.
Unfortunately, the manual did not cover anything about the recording. It just showed, hey, this is the recording option. What I found out is that it recorded the microphone as you were talking through the microphone. That's the only thing it records in my test.
But it also has EQ modes. Let's see if you can see that. I'll turn up the volume so you can hear it a little bit. But there's several different EQ modes. Jazz, classical. There's the normal mode. Seems to have the most bass on the normal mode.
Just a wall of sound in the sunburned drum mic inputs ready for your wild best friend. Sing one bad note, still the crowd gon' pretend true wireless stereo.
Okay, now let's switch over to the Bluetooth mode.
0 fun.
Very loud. Let's check our device here. It's like DY213 is it? And it's connected.
Now we'll check out the RTA analysis using pink noise and the audio control DMRTA with the microphone. Let's check it out here. What you'll notice is the kind of the reverse V pattern. That's right. This thing has no highs, no lows. Must be Bose. Even so, we must test it with some music to see how it sounds. Make sure you have your headphones on or some quality speakers, and let's hit it.
When the trunk, let it breathe, let it breathe. Old car flex when it drop, when it leave. 95 vibe when we cruise, when we stunt. If you ain't feel it in your chest, turn it up in the front. Bass in the trunk, let it roll, let it roll. From the curb to the show to the stoplight pole. Got a barn full of whippers and a trunk on stand. Lithium bank humming like a...
Overall, the sound is pretty dismal, but honestly, it's not as bad as I expected. So what I had decided to do is go ahead and pull out the other speakers, the recent speakers we tested, the JBL Party Box 120 and the Onn Large Party Speaker G2, and let's do a comparison and see how they sound. To my ears, the JBL sounds best. The Onn is not far behind, and of course the Daeone or Daeone, yeah, needs some help. Let's try the SPL tester to find out how loud this thing gets. Sound volume is difficult to portray via video, but 105 dB about 6 feet away or 2 meters is extremely loud. According to this, it's between a snowmobile and a concert, and I would say I did not think it would get that loud. Pretty impressive. So one of the fun parts about these speakers to me, or any speaker, is to find out what's inside. Of course, there are 8 tiny screws which hold the amplifier plate on. Once we take those 8 tiny screws out, we'll see the plethora of wiring here. That's pretty much the whole brains of the system here, which includes the RGB controller, the amplifier, the FM tuner, all that stuff is built into the top. And if we take out 4 more screws, the whole top opens up and we can see the battery here, 18650, there's 4 of them, 3600 milliamp per hour. And then if we take off the additional screws around the perimeter of the unit, we can open it up. Again, it is a cylinder shape, kind of like a bazooka. That's why they call it a bazooka speaker. And here we can see the 12-inch drivers, and yes, they are wired separately. This is not a passive and active system. Both of the woofers are active, which was kind of impressive to me. I thought they were going to have one that was passive because of the price. So we took out the 8 screws and pulled this one, and this is hilarious. The chrome dust cap, the woofer has been painted. It looks like it's been spray painted silver, and the tiniest magnet I've ever seen on a 12-inch driver. It must be 10-ounce magnet. It says 20 watts and 3 ohms, and I think 20 watts is probably pushing it to its limits. And also the voice coil. Tiny, it's got a 1-inch voice coil for a 12-inch speaker. Crazy. And then look at the mounting position here. It is like so thin plastic. There's the single tweeter, like I showed you before on the front. There is no tweeter on the other side. Here's a size comparison with my hand. It's really funny to see these woofers in here. And of course, you know, it's interesting to see the inside, but the main reason I took it apart is so we can actually do the amp dyno test of the 3 ohm woofers there. So let's fire up the amp dyno. And although this thing is marketed to do 9,000 watts, we know that's not true. So according to them, PMPO is 9,000 watts. So what is that? Peak music power output. It's more like practically meaningless power output. But of course, upon closer inspection, they actually say 20 watts by 2 here on the box. Let's try it at 4 ohms, 1 kilohertz, certified to 1% distortion, see what kind of power we get. And there you go, about 18 watts per channel at 4 ohms to 1% distortion. Of course, we'll run the dynamic track here, which sends a pulse tone into the amp. Of course, this has a chip amplifier, and it's not going to do much more power. It doesn't do any more, actually. Exactly the same, about 18 watts per channel dynamic burst. Well, since the drivers are 3 ohm, the amp dyno does not have a 3 ohm setting, so we do use a 2.67 ohm setting. See if we can get that 20 watts per channel. Certified, we get exactly the same that we did before, actually 1 watt less, so around 17 watts per channel at 2.67 ohms certified. Let's try the dynamic test, which again sends that pulse track of 1 kilohertz into the amp. And here you can see we did get the 20 watts, about 21 watts per channel average. So it kind of does 20 watts by 2, but what's up with that 9,000 watts? I would say it's a marketing trick to get you to buy this if you don't know any better, if you're just comparing via specs, which is a joke, shouldn't happen. Anyway, let's move on to the pros and cons of this white van speaker, the 9,000 watt quote unquote version. First off, the good stuff, inexpensive. It does have FM, Bluetooth, auxiliary, and microphone, and yes, the FM is horrible. I didn't even show that. I would not use this with FM. It does include a wireless mic though, even though it's very cheap, very flimsy. It includes a wireless remote too, which actually works pretty well. It does work in pairs with true wireless stereo, and it's loud. I mean, like ear-ringing loud. As for the cons, the cheap feel of the enclosure, also the speakers themselves, is 20 watts by 2, not 9,000 watts. It only has 1 tweeter. The battery life is only around 2 hours when fully charged. Has a thin plastic enclosure, surely rattles a lot. Bass output is horrible, also the high output is horrible. You really get what you pay for. And most people realize this, but the reason I make videos like this is because some people looking for reviews don't know if this is something they should actually buy or not. Obviously, I would not buy it. Look at the quality of the outside of this enclosure. It is not very good. This is how it came directly out of the box. The build quality here is literally as low as you can get. The amplifier is 20 watts by 2. It does have a lot of features, but I'm not sure about the longevity. The wireless mic, I was surprised, even worked. Quality, it did not sound that great. In fact, the sound was pretty bad. Even adjusting the bass and treble didn't help. But I mean, if you need something inexpensive, I would definitely go for the Onn Party speaker. I think that one, for the money, definitely gives you a lot more features, even though you would need to get a microphone. But this one, yeah, I would just pass on it. It's really bad. And don't be fooled by the two 12-inch drivers, the 9,000 watts, the flashing LEDs. This is really just a heaping pile of junk. So if you guys appreciate this, make sure you smash me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This is Big D. Until next time, you know where I'm at. I'm out of here.
Tangles in sight, LEDs flash red, green, blue all night. Pro sound for the patio, clown show energy. Everybody says this was a bad idea initially. Then the bass line drops, heads all bob like park low riders. Truth is funny when it hits this song, and the speakers stay alive.